So it's been a while, like 2 years and a couple of Overwatch patches kind of while. But welcome back to Experimental Card, where the queue is always long and the opinions are occasionally too spicy for comp chat. I'm your host, your shot caller, and your emotional support ping system, Paacreek. This episode's going to be a bit different. Obviously, I'm not joined by any co-hosts. I don't have a roundtable. It's just me. I've been solo queuing lately, literally and metaphorically. And after relying a little bit too much on my teammates around me, I kind of realized that I think I needed to push the payload by myself for a little bit. So today we're talking about the mid-season shakeup, the Street Fighter 6 collab, the wild new mode that's called Stadium, and where the show is going to be headed next. Primarily, we're going to be looking at creator spotlights. We'll also be doing some community deep dives, and yes, you'll still have your occasional support main meltdown from yours truly. But in true Moira fashion, let's inject a little chaos.
In chaos lies opportunity.
First point of order is probably going to be the most obvious elephant in the room, which is why we don't have a co-host anymore, which is nothing dramatic. Actually, Miles just doesn't play Overwatch anymore, and he's got life stuff going on. So I figured instead of waiting around and trying to find a different co-host, that I wanted to pick the show up myself. And I know it's been about 2 years. I felt now that with Stadium releasing that, I just wanted to re-release the show kind of with my perspective and give my take on things a little bit differently. I really enjoyed hosting the show with Miles, and anybody knows that my history with him. We hosted another podcast called It's Always Sunny in Stormwind, and we had an amazing run on there too, which is primarily where our friendship grew from. But I'm always going to be thankful for the time for him here. He was a wonderful co-host and always really fun to queue up with. And I don't know if I don't think he's really making content right now. I think because he's got life. You guys should still go check him out. His content is still up on YouTube, and he makes some amazing first playthroughs. People call them blind playthroughs, but I don't know if that's appropriate these days. But he has been doing some great first Kingdom Hearts 3 or Kingdom Hearts in general playthroughs. And if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan or a Final Fantasy fan, you'll really enjoy his content. So still go check him out. All the love to Miles. And I mean, from here, we're really embracing the show as a solo queue mindset. I'm going to be pushing the show forward, which exciting to me. I haven't really run a podcast as a solo venture before, so I get to battle with myself and reining myself in and trying to reduce my tangents, just trying to give you the straight up information, keeping it as is. But I'm really excited to give you my full undiluted warped mind that is not going to be at all kept in check by another co-host, and I really hope you guys enjoy the chaos.
Your fate is in my grasp.
So my original intent was to relaunch the show sometime within like the first week of Stadium launching, but I've had some other life stuff going on, and recording daily is kind of hard for me. So instead I've had to kind of pull things back a little bit. So I'm readjusting my show, but Stadium is the newest game mode that they have added to Overwatch since Clash. And I don't even know if I could actually fully consider this just a solo game mode, because to me it feels more like a solo, or not a solo, but like a new divergence of Overwatch. And I don't know if that's going to make sense to a whole lot of people, but it's just a different direction that Overwatch is going in. And I've always kind of been of the mindset that the ashes of Heroes of the Storm, which I do not think that Heroes is a dead game. It's very much maintained. It's just on a slower cadence than any other games in the Blizzard rotation right now. So I do think that like HOTS has its place to come back, but overall I think taking a lot of what made Heroes of the Storm great and kind of implementing that over into Overwatch is very, very good. And it's hopeful on the back end for me for a lot of things, just because the idea of getting to play this game sort of as a MOBA and also be in first person, or not first person but third person, is, I don't know, it's a very stark difference from the Overwatch that we saw in 2016, which is, you know, what I fell in love with. And I still to this day, 9 years later, am coming in and playing Overwatch almost daily, and I haven't really, I don't know where I was going with that. I just think this is a good direction for Overwatch because it could eventually lead us back into getting some PvE modes or seeing some kind of PvPvE mode, if that makes sense. So there's player versus player, player versus environment, and then there's player versus environment, which is essentially what I would consider like Heroes of the Storm, Smite, League of Legends, all of those, Dota 2. They have some kind of cash system, but they also have a talent system that you're able to augment your abilities based on, you know, what other people are playing. And Stadium really falls into that MOBA mindset. So this is, for me, it's a great direction for Overwatch. I've had nothing but nice things to say about it. It does get very frustrating playing with people who are willfully obtuse, but other than that, like the game mode itself, the gameplay is great. Getting to play Moira with, you know, a completely different set of skills or a completely different tailored hero experience is very, very exciting. And this is only the beginning. We're going to get to see different versions of it. As season 17 comes out, we're going to get to see more heroes that are implemented into it, along with more abilities. We might see abilities changed, we might see powers changed, we might see entire mechanics changed, and we could see new things added too. I wouldn't be shocked if in one of the new seasons we end up seeing them add some kind of experimental option. Like, think of the Grand Beast Hunt game mode that they had. Now think of them adding a big boss like that into the match where players are fighting against each other and the environment, and then struggling to like capture that. I think that could be implemented very easily into Stadium. So there, for me, the sky is the limit on this game mode. They can only continue to build upon a great thing, and I think this is gonna just do wonders for Overwatch. It's already brought a lot of people back to the game. It's kept a lot of people re-interested in the game, and it's definitely a great shakeup. And it's a good way to get people into that Stadium or that competitive mindset, with not necessarily being the highest stakes of competitive modes. I feel like for the first 2 tiers, since you're kind of protected, you don't lose score, you only gain score. Eventually it does filter out the players who are kind of more acting in bad faith, and it makes it a little bit harder for them to get up into those higher tiers. So it does have some of its drawbacks to it, but overall I think it's an amazing thing. I've rambled about it enough. Ready to get on to our next topic.
Spinning bird kick. Yatta!
And switching things up, we do have the Street Fighter 6 collab, which as far as my knowledge, this is the first non-Blizzard game to collab with Overwatch as a brand, which is, to me, it's exciting just because eventually we could see other games. Like, my hope is that we would see a Resident Evil collab. Street Fighter is a good way. I believe I should know this, and I do. It's Capcom. I know it's Capcom. It's because it's Marvel versus Capcom. Duh. So it's a Capcom game. So I mean, the relationship is there now with Capcom. All, you know, maybe there could be like a Juno. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Juno. I know everyone is gonna bite my head off for saying that. Maybe there could be like a Jill Valentine, like Soldier 76 skin, or like Reaper as Claire Redfield. I'm totally giving. I don't want to see like Ada Wong as Widowmaker or Widowmaker as Ada Wong. I don't know why I'm on the topic of Resident Evil, but all I'm saying is that we could eventually see it go into something else. So this is awesome. We have 6 characters in this bundle, and if you're in the United States, that bundle coin value is gonna cost you USD about 99. I think it was 90 was the price tag, I think, that I saw and maybe have purchased on PlayStation. Anyways, it's a hefty bundle. You do have to consider what you're getting in that bundle, which is 6 character skins, highlight intros, I believe, for either 5 or all 6 of those characters, emotes, victory poses. I think there are name cards voice lines, and the highlight intros are very interesting too, because they do change the music of the play of the game. So if you're playing Widowmaker as Cammy and her theme comes in, it changes it from the Overwatch theme to the Street Fighter, Cammy's Street Fighter theme. And it's going to do the same thing for Juno as Chun-Li. I believe it would do the same for Hanzo as Ryu. Hanzo does also get an ultimate voice line change. He does Hadoken, which I don't get me for my pronunciation of that. And I know it's a simple word, but I'm not a simple girl. Did I just say that? Why did I just say that? I do think this is some kind of collab that we would want to see more of, though. I think moving forward, this has been a very expensive season so far. Like, I will say from the get-go, they had the Le Seraphim collab, like, right in the beginning. And on top of that, like, there was the Magical Girl bundle. And then it's been a very, very expensive season. So I would like to see this. I just would like to see it on a slower scale. Or if they're going to do something like this, maybe consider reducing the cost. Or I think in this case, like a 6-skin bundle is absolutely insane, because we haven't seen that yet. And we haven't seen that. Diablo might have been somewhat similar to that, but I don't remember the pricing for that. But either way, it is a very expensive collab. It's more than the cost of Street Fighter 6 and Overwatch combined. Mind you, Overwatch 2 is a free game, so it's more than the price of Street Fighter 6. I don't think you should be paying that much money for cosmetics. You're paying around about $90 US for that, and I do think that's a bit ridiculous. So like, maybe we could reduce the frequency of this, or we could, you know, look into implementing 2 of those skins into being earned free, or 1 earned via drops, 1 earned via challenges. I don't know. I feel like that's what they've kind of been doing in the past, and I don't know if this is a Capcom thing or if it was a Blizzard decision, but it's very pricey, and that's all I'll say from there.
Let us go on to the end.
And to touch on this once more, but the direction of the show moving forward, we are going to be doing more solo episodes, so I would expect some more sporadic episodes just based as news comes out. I'm also going to be looking into doing some creator interviews, and I want to spotlight people and highlight people and use this platform, or what's left of this platform, to be able to build something and highlight people who not only, you know, are interesting, but also are doing good things in the community. And I think it's only fair to bring word to them. There's things like Know Your Roles could be coming back. I don't know if people listening even know that, but that was a segment that Miles and I originally came up with as a concept, and like to explore that again, maybe as the history of the game has changed. But we are going to be keeping a little bit of a looser structure here. I think that was kind of the rundown with season 1 of the show, was we were pretty loose for the most part, and it's the same love of the game, same love of the community. It's just me here, and we're able to, you know, to focus things in a little bit more, and so I get to keep this as my little insightful love letter to Overwatch, because as a lot of people don't know, but I credit Overwatch as one thing that has changed my life for the better. I've played this game since 2016. I was invited into the open beta, and I still am so fortunate. I've been able to go to BlizzCon and meet friends and just connect with so many people that I wouldn't normally have been able to. Over on the Realm Maintenance podcast just about a month ago, I was part of the interview with Connor MacLeod, who voices Hazard in Overwatch 2. So I'm so fortunate for a lot of the opportunities that Overwatch and playing Blizzard games has brought me. Incredibly thankful to anybody who's been tuning into the show and who's been here listening from the get-go. If you're new, I appreciate you, and if you know, things seem a little bit bumpy or a little bit wonky, I'm still finding my feet, but overall I am beyond grateful just to be able to pick this platform back up and share my love of Overwatch with the world. And I hope that you all can join me for the ride and share this with your friends if you're able to. If you're not, thank you for listening. 5 stars on iTunes or any of the platforms that you're listening on. And if you're a fan of me and what I put out there, you can follow me over on any of my social media at Paacreek. I stream on Twitch. I play other games other than Overwatch. Play World of Warcraft. Most popular games right now, I'm playing Expedition 33, and soon I'll be starting Sea of Stars. You can follow me at Paacreek. You can always follow the show over at Twitter at whatever they call it these days. I think it's X, but you can follow the show at Experimental OW for Overwatch memes. We're on TikTok too. I'm on TikTok at Experimental OW on TikTok as well. Everything will be included in the description. And once again, I know this was solo and very, very scatterbrained. It's just like me. But if you've made it this far, once again, thank you again for listening. I know it's different, but the love of Overwatch is always going to be the same, and I'll be back soon, solo or otherwise. But until then, keep your cooldowns tight and your team chat muted. Love you guys.